Hey there guys, it's Metro, and today we're going to be taking a look at soloing raids on the alpha. First clip here you're going to see is me doing it on live as a kind of like a point of reference. This was brought up to me by the YouTube user Bananalol. He told me that pretty much, well, he was worried at least that the stat squish and stuff going on the alpha might actually significantly change soloing. As you see here on my live Death Knight, I'm absolutely destroying these things, literally one-shotting them. This is not going to be the case when I'm on the alpha. Now, we'll talk a little bit about why this may not be the case, but realistically, I think it's probably unfinished. I think it's fair to say that whatever they plan on doing is simply not finished. But either way, the thing that I think is most interesting is actually the change in the health pools. Originally, I came in here, not necessarily in ICC, but along the couple dungeons and raids that I tried. And I kind of expected what would happen here is one of two things. Either the health pools didn't get changed at all with the stat squish, like nothing actually got affected, or the legacy bonus that we do wasn't going to be applied. Now, in the description, I'm going to have a link to the logs. I kept logs. I forgot to put it on for ICC, but I have everything else that I did in this. It doesn't log very accurately, but one way or the other, the point of the log is not necessarily to see any actual numbers, but it's just to prove that the legacy bonus is working. I'm doing like well over, I think it's like 30k DPS at level 103 or 113 or whatever my character is on the alpha. And as you see here, that's, whatever I am doing on this trash here, simply not enough. I came in here and literally one-shot all the mobs with one ability. Now, there could be something to do with the actual leveling on the alpha as well. I'm 113. I'm not doing any less damage than I was when I was 110, but I'm not really doing any more damage either. And that's a weird thing on the alpha currently. I'm not really sure why that's the case. I've certainly gained item levels and certainly gained gear, but I seem to still be doing pretty similar damage, like a very, very slight increase. So we're going to fight Merogar here. You're going to see how long this takes. This is sped up by I think it's like 2 times, maybe 1.5 times. It's really laggy too. I don't know what's happened, but these old raids just get really laggy, so I can't really do anything about that. Apologize. But yeah, the alpha is definitely in a state where it's pretty clear that things are not working as they should. But regardless, it does make you think here, because the idea behind soloing a raid is meant to be this is from Wrath of the Lich King, right? We're talking about raids that are 6+ years old, maybe even older, depending on what you're soloing, and you kind of want to just fly through it, right? And that's what they did the first time with the stat squish. For those of you who weren't around for that first stat squish, happened in MoP into WoD, they basically gave you this massive overcompensation. This buff that would make you do like 100 times more damage, maybe not that much, but like a significant amount more damage. So you would actually kill things faster than you would in the past. Now, a lot of people were speculating what the buff might do when it was compounded on the previous buff. That is to say that if they gave us a new legacy buff, how much damage would we actually do? And as of right now with the stat squish, we're actually doing like way less damage than we're basically doing the same amount of damage we would have done in Wrath. It's a little bit more, definitely a little bit more, probably a lot bit more, but I'm a Blood Death Knight here, tank DPS, tank DPS is obviously not going to be equatable to say like a geared Fury Warrior from Wrath, but I know I was kind of surprised by that to see less than 30k. And it's not really that big of a deal. Like whatever the numbers are the numbers, but when the boss actually doesn't lose that much health, right? So for example, Merogar on 25 Mythic or Heroic, whatever, on live, I think he has like 55 million health or something like that. Which, I mean, that's a lot of health considering it's a Wrath of the Lich King boss. But regardless, when you do him on the beta or the alpha or whatever, he has 9 million health. Okay, so that, I mean, it seems like a squish, right? Like it's definitely less health, but yeah, realistically, it's not enough, not low enough, I think, is the problem. I wouldn't really say that the legacy bonus is inadequate, because I'm doing about like 1 to 1.5k single target on the actual alpha. But on, in these raids, I'm doing like 35k single target. That is a very, very, very big buff, right? That's a huge buff. So I don't necessarily think it's a problem with the actual bonus damage that you're gaining, the legacy buff, whatever it's called. legacy damage increase thing. That works fine, I think. I think it's actually functioning. So like I said, one of two things I was worried about, and I think it is going to be the first one there, where the health is not going to be scaled. Now, it definitely is scaled down, but man, do these fights take forever. I mean, and they actually do some damage here. You're going to see in the Alice Resort clip here, they actually do a lot of damage. I almost die. So, yeah, I don't know. Kind of surprised by that. I don't really know what to say about that, but one way or the other, it kind of makes you think about what is going to happen with soloing one way or the other. And really the main reason it's worth discussing is because if you played through patch 7.3.5 when it was launched, they like buffed the health of mobs. I don't really understand why they did that. I mean, I know why they did it for leveling, but they did it in raids too. I actually made a video on this kind of poking fun at those people who are saying it's impossible. But now looking at this, it's like, wow, okay, now I could actually agree with some people probably saying it's impossible. Like I realistically, I probably should have went and tested Shaw. As you see there, the boss resets. I don't know if that's something that happens on live. Frankly, I'm not the best person to be making this comparison. I don't really solo any old stuff. I don't really care about transmog or stuff like that typically. But I know when I do it on in Legion, I one-shot everything. Like literally, one blood boil kills everything in sight. Mobs pain. Oh, look at how much damage the fire did too. Really weird. Obviously, something's going on here that's not working properly one way or the other. But yeah, I mean, these mobs, they have a lot of health. They have really, they should be getting one shot. You're meant to kill them, meant to like have group members jump on them and use them to kill the eggs. Obviously, nobody's going to do that anymore. But yeah, I don't know. One way or the other, it makes you think because of what they did in MOP. This happened with MOP, and a lot of people weren't able to solo. What was it? Shaw, Pride, or Anger, or Fear, or Doubt, or Hatred, or Blood Death Knight, whatever it was. Shaw, Blood Death Knight. You weren't able to solo it anymore. It's impossible to solo Shaw, Blood Death Knight, of course. So I made a video showing that as a Blood Death Knight myself, I had no problem with it. Obviously, it has a lot more health. I'm not really sure why they did that. They ended up nerfing that then, subsequently nerfing that. I think it was like increased by maybe 100%, and then it was nerfed by 50%. So it was only a slighter. It was like, not too big of a buff in the end, the net buff. But the fact that they did it in the first place, a lot of people were like, dude, just relax. They're doing it because of the stat squish. And like now looking back at that, it's like, wait a second. Were they or were they not? Were they actually intending to make raids require more effort? And frankly, I have to say I'm for it. Like, I'm not necessarily for making these raids that I previously one-shot the bosses. You know what I mean? Like, this is what I'm trying to say. I don't really want to come in here and spend 15 minutes killing Alice Resort at 113 or whatever I'm going to be, 120, But it would be pretty cool if you actually wanted to do it at level 85 if it was a sizable challenge. And they kind of accomplished that with 735, if you ask me. I haven't really followed the scene, but I figured Project 60, quote unquote, like stopping at level 60 and doing raids and stuff like that, I think it would probably be a lot more interesting now because the bosses in like MC have like 3 to 4 times more health than they did. So, that's seen throughout the entire game. So, I mean, you could do Project 100, if you really wanted to, since WoD's such a great expansion. So, yeah, I mean, you could do anything, really. But with like as it is now, I don't know if this is furthering that, like if they're trying to make this even more, or if it's just incomplete. I mean, realistically, I'm sitting here making a 13-minute video on something that's probably just completely not finished. Maybe even by the next build that comes out, it'll be different. But one way or the other, the numbers themselves aren't necessarily the point of the video. Obviously, it is kind of, it's like about 50% of the video. And as you're going to see here, I'm taking a lot of damage. But just if you're interested in this topic, follow the development of what happens next. Frankly, I don't remember how to do this encounter, so I'm kind of just running around killing stuff, waiting for the bird to come out. And as you see, my health pool is going to get really scary pretty shortly here. I'm not actually sure what the damage is. It must be from this fire. Yeah, it must be from that fire there. But I mean, that's a... Dude, I almost just died in Firelands as 113. A Blood Death, and I almost just died in Firelands. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Obviously, I think that is indicative that there is a mistake being made or an incompletion. Let's put it that way. But I do kill this resort, but as you see, it takes me quite a while. And we're going to do more chalk. This is interesting because, yeah, more chalk. So again, I have the logs down below. More chalk hits me for 100% of my health. And that just has to... But the weird thing is he hits me for, again, a different number than he would have back in the day. And then again, a different number than he would have on live. Like I tested all this side by side on both Legion and the alpha here. I didn't include all of it, just the first clip there, but it's like I'm like flabbergasted. I'm like, what the fuck? And then the stupid Alyssa sword thing comes up again. That is a pretty cool feature, by the way, on the alpha. Like anytime you kill anything of import, it'll have a like a dialogue that'll open in case you want to report a bug. So obviously I reported a bunch of this stuff, but again, I don't know if it's actually bugged or not. But yeah, his stomp, which it's meant to be split, right? If you ever did the fight, you're meant to split it. In Legion, it does like a 1k damage. I mean, it literally doesn't do anything. But as you're going to see here, it does, I think it's like 48 million. And I have, yeah, there you go, 48 million. And I have like 20-some, 30 million, something like that. So yeah, that's impossible. That is actually impossible. Let's clarify there. That is something that you cannot complete alone. So that can't be right, surely. So yeah, I don't know. Anyway, interesting thing here. Lady Proudmore, has that been like that? A new model for her? I don't know. I'm not really sure. I haven't done this place in a long time. But yeah, this place is a TBC raid. This is looking more like the speed. I wanted to show this because this is feeling a little bit more up to par here. I don't really know what's going on. I put a freaking... Anyway, this is feeling a little bit more up to speed here. This is a very easy, no damage taken really at all. The mobs are dying in like 2 globals, even though in real, like, you know, on Legion, they would be dying in very much less than 1 global. But anyway, it still feels a bit more up to speed. So anyway, that's the video. I don't know. Don't really have much to say on this topic. I just thought it was quite interesting. I think... You know, if you guys are interested in this, if you're Painbow, what's up, man? How's it going? If you're watching this, anyway, yeah, if you're like a hardcore transmog farmer, I would just urge caution. Just pay attention. I would say, you know, I definitely don't think this is gonna stay this way. I don't think it's intentional. Like I said, the health pools were lowered, and the legacy buff was given, right? So it's just like something's incomplete. One of the 2 factors I would have to say is incomplete. I'm not sure which. But I definitely would, I mean, surely everybody would agree that there's no reason that these mobs would have had their health lowered and our damage increased by, I mean, up to 30 times more and still not be able to kill them in 1 hit. Like, something is inadequate there. I believe, I don't know, but follow it. Follow it. If you're serious about this, you got to follow it. Chase up the leads here, but I don't know. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you guys have any questions or any comments, especially if you try this yourself, let me know. Otherwise, we'll see you guys in the next video.